channel. So welcome. Happy Monday. We're so happy to have all of you with us today. If you're with us as usual, let us know where you're coming from. What's up, Dirty Soap? What's up, Pat? We see you guys. We have Philly and Canada in the house, Houston, Texas. John Tran, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Feeling amazing today. It's a beautiful week, so I'm ready.
Yes, got a lot to be grateful for. We see Yoda is in Zen mode as well on the bed.
Yeah, Yoda. Yep.
Yoda
Teaches
is
me how to zen out.
in his throne. We got Vision Fitness, Brain Body Breakthroughs, Ollie Dog Walker. What's up, guys? We see you. Welcome, brothers and sisters.
Type in something you're grateful for today in the comment section. So that we know that you're grateful for something.
And we know you're alive because we like to have you part of this conversation.
Yep.
John, what are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful for this moment. I'm kind of in this sandwich of amazing things. I had this beautiful weekend, which I'll talk about later, where we did like a 1-day mini retreat, pretty much impromptu here in the Garage Mahal. And then in 2 days, I'll be leading retreats in Mexico. So I'm just in this cosmic transitional,
a cosmic sandwich
portal of self-love and gratitude, community.
Hell yeah.
So
John, before we go any further, because I'm like, dude, I'm dying to come on a retreat with you. For those of you who don't know, John and I have never touched each other physically in person. We've never seen each other in person.
Yeah.
Outside of the digital cosmos.
Digital besties.
That's right. John, how do we, like, if we wanted to attend something that you were doing, how would we do that? Do you have a website?
I do, but the easy way is if you're already on Instagram, just go to my link tree or my beacon link.
Yeah, in your bio.
In my bio, just click on it. There's a list.
Oh yeah, I was checking out. It's sexy. You got a lot going on in there.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Not to mention the Garage Mahal. There's a lot of abundance flowing.
Garage Mahal.
So if you're anywhere near Houston, Texas, or Tulum, Mexico, you're about to get some John Tran in your life.
Actually, Umbrella Theory's on here. He was at our little Saturday, just conscious vibing it out fest day.
Yes.
We did like an ice bath, and we had authentic relating and climb trees, vegan food, just talk to each other, connected.
These are all my favorite things.
Yeah, it's a magical day of manifesting and releasing. A lot of crying.
Oh man, I'm so moved by that. Thank you for sharing that, and welcome, Umbrella. I'm glad you're here with us, guys. If you're here, let us know what you're grateful for today. Brain Body Breakthrough said breath. Yeah, man, that reminded me to take a deep breath. I'm grateful for this, John. I'm grateful for you because I'll talk about it more too, but I've been on a 3-day shoot. That's why my eyes are swollen and small today. Really supporting my wife and creating her dreams of this music video. But I really, like, my brain really did not want to be here today. My body really wanted to sleep, really wanted to rest. I thought about, my brain worked through all these ways that we might be able to skip today. And the accountability of a brother, of a person in your corner, like, I know that no matter what, I was going to see John and he was going to be like, no, man, let's do it. And he's going to be smiling and he's going to be there. And I could count on that. And no matter, like, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it now, because no matter what I'm going to go through or what I've been through or how tired I am, to know that there's someone that I can count on connecting with is really, really special. And so I am just so grateful for you, man. Yeah, take that, love.
Grateful for you, Ben. All right, so we got some guests in the house.
Yeah, we do. And I bring all this up because I've been getting in touch with my inner child lately. I've been an emotional, weepy mess. I've been working with filmmakers and editors and crews, and my wife Cassie, who's literally creating her dreams of a solo album. Today she's going to be running with a white horse on Malibu Beach for a scene. really finding her freedom inside of marriage and inside of a patriarchal world that she still has to live in as a woman.
Mm,
And I'm really supporting her in that dream, because that's what keeps our marriage alive and thriving, is really allowing and empowering my wife and the women in my world to explode into their greatness. And that
mm,
just like, it lights me up. I'll work, I'll slave. I did a 24-hour day the first day with her, because that's what there was to do inside of partnership. And she looked at me as it was like 50 to yeah 50 degrees Topanga Canyon. She's in a freezing cold pool that they built of gold under the moonlight and the stars. And she looks up at me, and I'm running to and from the kitchen, pouring in like hot water to try to keep her body temperature warm so she can get through this shot. And she just looks up at me like covered in gold paint under the moonlight. And she goes, "Ben, can you believe this is our life?" And I just, no. And yes, because this is exactly what we're creating. And the filmmakers even hugged us yesterday and said how moved they were that this is like the most amazing thing they've ever created. And I said, "Babe, even when your head tells you like, why am I doing this? Like, she doesn't want to she doesn't need to be famous or the next Billie Eilish. She just wants to help people." But I said, whether or not anyone hears your music, you're already helping people. There's
mm,
already people on set being moved by their greatness and creativity inside of your vision. So no matter what you're doing in the world, you never know who you're going to help by putting it out there. And that's why I have this commitment to show up here every week, to be vulnerable and to be real, and to talk with you, John, and all of you beautiful people who've joined us today about what it means to love yourself and just how to be more vulnerable in the world. Um, One of my favorite guys on Instagram today, you'll see it on my story, just said, I think empathy is one of the things that we're still missing right now in the world. That's something we have a shortage of, is like empathy and love for ourselves and for each other. Savio, I see you. There's a lot of beautiful people coming right now. So I just want to say welcome. If you're coming, tell us one thing you're grateful for and where you're coming from. And if you have questions for us today, so I'm talking about all this stuff to just like tap us into our hearts and tune us into what matters.
mm,
And so many men I'm talking to today are struggling with how to love themselves, how to get in touch with that inner child, that little boy who had to live on such strict orders to survive, and really wasn't allowed to feel his feelings fully, wasn't allowed, has spent his life trying to provide because that's what we're taught to do as men, but haven't really learned or even been able to ask themselves, what do I need? What do I want in the world? Now that I've provided and got like the job or the family or the car or the wife or the kid, like now what? Right? Because those aren't the answer. And tomorrow's not promised. So now what can you create? And it all seems to be really a disconnect. What's up, Matrix? I see you. It's a disconnect between our heart and getting in touch with our inner child,
mm.
right?
I love it.
So Matrix, I've just been talking about the shoot, man. You're gonna have to go back and watch some of this. But so what is inner child work, and how the hell do we connect with it? John, you dropped this topic in, so I'm gonna pass the ball to you today.
So inner child work. I discovered this. I mean, I'm 44 years old, and I think it was 2 years ago. I'm 40. When I was 42, went through a horrible heartbreak, like breakup, and met a healer, and she taught me about
Mm,
inner child work, inner child healing, and had no idea this even existed. So I'm sure there are a lot of brothers out there that may not know about inner child work, but it's a type of healing where we actually go back, and there's so many different accesses and modalities to heal the inner child. But at the end of the day, it's just going back and acknowledging any parts of us from the past that didn't receive love, that felt scared, that felt challenged and had doubts and were wounded, and to go
mm,
back, literally go back in time energetically and reaffirm to that inner child of us that that they are loved, that they are
Yes.
safe,
Yes.
they can accomplish anything. You know, they're
Yes.
so wise.
Yes.
And but it's just allowing our inner adult to look back and say, wow, I left my little buddy behind. Let me go back
Mm,
and go get him and bring him on this journey. Like,
that's so
yeah.
sweet.
So
Like as soon as you're like, I
yeah,
left my little buddy behind, I'm
I
starting
left my little
crying.
I left my little guy back there, man.
Oh my God.
And he hasn't been able to like come on this journey with me because he's been
Mm,
stuck because someone made him feel stuck.
yeah.
Someone that was hurt made him feel hurt, and now he's just stuck on that third
Yeah.
grade.
Yeah.
So it's just let's go back and go get him. And
Mm,
yeah, and man, it's just so powerful to just tap into that space and just to see it, notice it, and like pat it on the back a few times.
yeah.
And so it's healed a lot for me, and I've seen how when I heal that, my relationships all around me with my own family and
Mm,
my future relationships are healed.
mm,
And the most important relationship is the relationship with myself, and
mm.
that's um, I don't beat myself up anymore because adult John would never beat up uh, an 8-year old because it didn't know what to do,
Yeah.
or it felt scared that his parents would leave or something like that. And
Mm,
adult John would never go to talk shit to him or shame
mm.
him or anything like that. So
Yes.
it's so important that we go back and we honor that kid with so much love.
Yes.
And that's how we have to treat our adult self too. And that's the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great, John, do you mind if I dance with you here a little bit?
Yeah, let's go.
Man, that space is like, yeah, how do we um so good. Um so yeah, how do we get in touch with that right now? Like, how do you talk to your adult self? That's what I want to ask you right now. If you're at
Mm.
home and you're listening, comment if you want to. Um, I
So
like that you
from
said I
yeah.
wouldn't beat up an 8-year-old, right?
Mhm.
We're leaving your little guy behind. So this is just about like it's somewhere along the way, something happened when you were a little kid and you no longer felt safe and you had to adjust, or you made a decision in that moment that, well, that's not safe. Whoop, that behavior isn't safe. And so we're teaching ourselves now as an adult that you are safe because you are. And there's a great exercise I have on my YouTube page. You can DM me for it. I send it for free to everyone. It's a 1-minute exercise to create safety, security, and really retrain your nervous system and program it for joy and fun. And
Mm.
it's a simple exercise and having fun, getting in your body, creating more ease in your life. And like, go fucking climb a tree. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for even mentioning that today, because adults are like, oh well, I gotta cover my third quarter, I gotta meet these goals. And as if you haven't seen 8 Perfect Strangers on Hulu, watch it. There's this character I now call John Tran, and as the character John Tran said, no, you don't. You don't actually need to meet any of those deadlines. You don't need the cell phone at all right now. 8 Perfect Strangers, they go on a retreat for transformation and they take away all their cell phones, and watching people separate from their cell phones is amazing. They're like, and they're like, no, you actually don't need this. Like, you're going to be here for 12 days. At the end, you'll get it back and you'll actually still be alive without it. And so will your job. And so will everyone you love. Right. And that really hit me too. Like, God, think about all the self-imposed things we're putting on ourselves because we're adults now. But when's the last time you let yourself go climb a tree? When's the last time you let yourself be fun? So many men are reading books and doing intense men's work, which I lead, and John has led with me, to find out how to get in touch with that. And David Data has this book, The Way of the Superior Man. And one of the greatest things in the book is like, listen, if you're struggling in your marriage or your relationship, just grab your partner and throw them on the bed.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, get playful. For God forbid you take yourself less seriously, even in the most intense moments, because we are safe. So think about, like, what are you telling yourself and what are you telling your inner child? right? Like, how are you talking? Would you talk to an 8-year-old that way? Would you talk to your kid the way you talk to yourself?
Mm.
That's what
Wow.
I got from you, man.
Thank you, Benjamin. So we got umbrella theory. He's like, just as I look into my past self's eyes and tell him he's going to be fine,
Mm,
I look into my future self's eyes and listen to help me create safety for the moment.
mhm.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
merging the two together is that perfect present moment, the
Yeah.
power of now. Excellent. Eckhart Tolle, just getting in the present moment,
Mm.
embodying in the moment, the present.
Savio said something really beautiful here too. He said, I feel like the adult self is in the head and the young self is the heart.
Mm,
I
yeah.
love that. Yeah. That, I mean, there's a lot of wisdom in the heart. So I think we have generations of infinite ancestry and wisdom in our heart. And absolutely, like, that's the connection, right? It's like the longest journey is from here to here, but they're, like 18 inches, from your head to your heart. And so why is it so hard to connect those two? And that's where inner child work comes in.
Mm.
um John, so you mentioned a couple of things and we've already said it here, like climbing a tree.
So this Saturday, I climbed this huge tree. We had an ice bath at at our house. What's that? Hello.
Oh, you're there. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. So we had like a mini day of festivities at the house, the Garage Mahal, and we started off with an ice bath. And if you've never done an ice bath, um, it'll wake you up and it'll make you feel like a kid really quick. Everyone is just like freezing, dancing around, just like woo, like just it jolts you. So that's one. It's technically not an inner child practice, but to me, I always feel so alive, like I was just born or something. So it's pretty beautiful. So after we did the ice, we did authentic relating, which we can talk about later. But that's where you actually just sit with somebody and soul gaze with them, stare in their eyes,
Mm.
and
Well, that's one of my
share.
favorite.
Yeah, you just share from the heart. And I feel like as adults, the older we get, this is not true, but we tend to put layers around the heart for vulnerability. Now, as a kid, I think we can be very open. There's no fear of being rejected or anything that we say or being judged. But then when we learn about rejection and we learn about um, judgments and people resenting or shaming us, then we're more reserved on what we can say or what could tend to happen. And so yeah, we worked on that this weekend, and we were able to just pull down those walls of vulnerability
Mm.
and speak
So
from the
eye
heart,
gazing is one of
eye
those.
gazing
Yeah.
and talking
And talking.
authentic. So we did like we
Authentic
shared
relating, right?
authentic talking. So just what's the biggest thing in your heart right now,
Mm.
and then you flip it. um, or what's your biggest challenge been in your life, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah.
So these little questions we got to dig in,
Well, let's let
and
that
then
land for a second. I just
yeah.
want to, you're dropping a lot of wisdom here. So I want to just give space for anyone who hasn't done that to just let that land for a second. So it sounds really simple. Is actually what Cassie and I teach in our love workshop, as well as in all the men's work that I do, especially in person, is just connecting with the soul. So, one thing I love about living in New York City was being on the subway every day and just looking at people's eyes. And I had a meditation teacher who would challenge us just to look at people, make eye contact, and smile, see what happens. Women, to no surprise, because of all the crap they have to deal with from predatory and toxic masculinity, most of the time, when I look at them, they're like, dude, like, I get looked at enough. um but sometimes someone will look back and smile and you're like, whoa. And then especially men get really creeped out in New York. Yo, what the fuck? Like, why is this guy looking at me? Like, hey, what? Or sometimes you might look at someone and or sometimes you might look at them. I also used to be afraid of this. before I was in touch with my sexuality, thinking I was leading men on to that they would think I'm gay by looking gay men in the eyes. And I realized I have such a strong connection with gay men, not just because my dad was gay, but because like I look men in the eye and I love all humans. I'm attracted to all humans, but there's like, it's because most straight men don't look each other in the eye. That's what I realized. I was like, I'm leading on gay men because men are allowed to look each other in the eye. And if they do, it means they either want to fuck or fight.
Mm.
So I would just look at men and smile and then leave it, or look at a woman and smile and then leave it, not sexualize her afterwards, but just smile. And that actually teaches women that it's safe to connect with men again. Because most of what women are dealing with is that they can't connect with men because it's not safe, because we've taught them it's not safe. We haven't taken care of them because we don't know how to take care of ourselves. So one of the things we can do is just start to look at each other and smile, especially strangers. A smile can go a long way. If you are bothered by the homeless people around you or the mentally ill people around you, or all that makes you feel unsafe or nervous, or you don't have money, or you feel bad when you don't have money. You know what I used to go up to? I see, hundreds of homeless people every day walking through New York City. And I just look at it and say, hey, man, bless you, much love, and smile. Because most of those people don't even get looked at, let alone acknowledged, especially in a city of 9 million people. Right. So think about what we've all been dealing with now. Everyone in the world has been through a pandemic. Everyone in the world. So, and many of us still are, right? So when's the last time you just stopped and smiled at someone? We need that more than ever now. We really need human connection. If you're depressed and having panic attacks and all, it's probably normal because you've probably been too isolated. I've even become a little bit agoraphobic in the pandemic. Sometimes I get a fear of social situations and things, and it's always the answer to all my problems is on the other side of my comfort zone. It's always like going and doing the thing, like showing up for this every Monday, going and surfing at 6 a.m. with a roaring, freezing ocean. And that's the last thing my body wants to do, just facing my fears, because the ocean is my god, my great outdoors, my healing place. So that's all my on eye gazing.
I love it, and what you shared is that it's so free. It'll cost you nothing. You don't have to even spend a whole hour in the yoga studio to get this medicine. It's just free, and the only way it works and it's free is that you have to give it away, and then you get some of it back. You just have to shoot a smile out to somebody, and they'll receive it. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's the medicine that we need right now in this world, is that authentic human connection. Whether it's a smile or an authentic question, or how are you doing? Like, how are you today?
And then listening.
And authentic listening. It's gold.
Yeah.
So.
And the other thing I remembered just now, this is for all you white people out there and non. But I had a beautiful conversation. My father grew up in the South in Memphis, Tennessee, when he was white in the 30s, and his best friend was black. And my best friend growing up was black. But for both of us, that was really strange, even though I grew up in the South in the 80s. But long story short, my dad really taught me to look and listen to minorities. And thank God, because I was a boy born of privilege. And so 30 years later, I'm in New York City, and I really moved there because I wanted to connect with other races more. I wanted to be in a melting pot where we could all be together and talk about it. That's before I'd learned about white privilege. But one of the things I talked to this business owner about, long story short, she was a local business owner in Harlem where I lived, born and raised, and a black business owner. And we had this beautiful conversation one day. We sat down and just talked about racism and the South and the North and our parents and us. She's 10 years older than me. And I said, So like I'm white and I live here because, I can't afford a lot of the other neighborhoods in New York, but also like I actually want to live in a neighborhood that isn't all white people. Like I want to live around the Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, African Americans. Like I want to be inside this. I want to be with like here in New York, with everybody. I don't want to be isolated. So what can I do? Because I also know that I'm part of gentrification, right? Like I'm part of the problem. And so what can I do? And you ready for it? She was like, just look us in the eye and say hello. Like if you're white and you move in our neighborhood, we're not going to like go out of our way to make you feel welcome. Like this is our neighborhood. So look us in the eye and acknowledge us and say hello. Like start a conversation. If there is a minority in your neighborhood, like look at them and say hello, welcome people. And it's just basic human. Like it was just like the answer to racism could be we just look at each other and say hi, right? That's not the answer. I mean, that's not going to solve everything. Let's be clear. It's systematic and long term. But if we could start with that with anyone, I mean, that break barriers of communication, eye contact, right? So I need to say that because there's a lot of white people who feel like they don't know what they can do. And that's like a really simple way. And then you listen.
Yeah. So simple. Yeah. It's just a basic human interaction skill, and something that we could all apply more of every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Like John growing up in Texas, like what if more people just like were like, hey man, how you doing today?
Yeah.
Is
Texans are very much like that though.
well, they're Southern, right? As soon as I
Yeah.
said that, I was like, I bet everybody does that in Texas.
There's conversations all like just hi, like yeah, we get that a lot. I feel like almost every interaction is
Even strangers, right? They're like, hey
yeah,
man.
yeah. If there's enough time, if it's passing, probably not. But if it's like you know, uh, enough time to engage, I think yeah, I think
Yeah.
The South is like conversation starters.
Oh man, I love that. And you gotta like it's really it's also helpful like to practice boundaries of ending conversations because that could be really challenging, at least for me in the
Yeah,
South, because people like to talk. So you're
yeah.
like, okay, gotta run. In fact, I was on the way to my dad's funeral and this guy started talking my ear off. I'm like, on the way to the funeral. He's like, oh yeah, yeah, go, go, go. So sorry. So blah 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 blah. And I'm like, hey man, I gotta go. Still
So
talking.
so for anyone that's watching this, I I would take this on as a challenge. So I would like to challenge everyone that's watching this. Today, you have 24 hours. Can you give eye contact to more than 50% of the people that you'll see today? And the other challenge is if you have the capacity to open a conversation and authentically connect to a stranger,
Hmm.
the challenge that I would invite you all to do, and you can check back in with us next week for your score. No, just joking. But
No, I
just the
want to know
challenge
their
of
score.
yeah, I would say the deeper the conversation, then you'll win the trophy.
The higher the points.
Yeah, you will win Divine Masculine Mondays Blue Ribbon Award, a high five, and lots of energetic love will be sent to you. But yeah, the
If
challenge
you're
is can you go deep in a conversation with
hmm.
as many people as you can that you can. Like if you actually are going to a funeral, don't start it. But if you've got 5 minutes in line at Starbucks or walking out of a yoga class, can you connect with somebody?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And John, I'd like to make this more specific because I know, a lot of people may lose track of like 50% today. Like start with can make eye contact with 3 people today, 3 strangers,
Mhm.
and just take them in and smile. And then go deep with 1 stranger. Start one conversation.
I'm gonna up challenge you on this, Ben.
Okay.
Three. I feel
Well, just
like
so people can count. I lose count after 5 sometimes
I think the
personally.
best way to
So
lose count. Okay, so do you
so
guys
we
know what?
invite you to lose count today with
Okay,
the
so this
amount
is
of people. you make
This
eye
is
contact with.
this is a mala, right? This is a
Mhm.
mala, and the way malas work is you put your finger and you every time you do a mantra, you go boom, one, two, three. So I'm gonna say every person today is a mala bead, right? And every person, the goal is somehow get the eye contact
Mm. With every single
with
person
it.
on
So
that
you can
string.
take Ben's challenge, or which is three a day, and I'm gonna, as a coach and someone that loves you, I'm gonna challenge you to every single human
Mm,
that you can come into contact with.
mm. I like that. I'll take that
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
I kind of do that anyway, but I'll do it extra today.
See, if you do it anyway, I feel like it'll be easy for anybody watching this to do that
Well, I
today.
want to acknowledge this. Yeah, yeah, yes. You know what I was going to say? I want to acknowledge that it may not be easy for everyone, but that's not true. It's as easy as you make it. It just takes practice, right? It may not feel
Give
easy
me
because you're not used to it. It's not
give me an
comfortable.
example where it would be difficult, where it's not,
Um, okay. Actually, I can't think of one.
right?
But that's coming from me. My band calls me Mr. Rogers because I say hello to everybody.
So, uh, if you're still
I
watching
went
this,
at a store. I went to a pharmacy for 3 minutes yesterday, John. I realized I interrupted you, so I'm gonna
yeah,
acknowledge that. But I would say this: I went
thank
to a
you.
store for 3 minutes yesterday, and I came out like I knew about like every person behind the counter. They had like they were writing down like my wife's taking down her information. They were like they want to be. We were connecting about women and childhood and like it. 3 minutes. It's anything. You can create anything. So I like this challenge. John, I interrupted you. What were you gonna say?
Um,
We'll
uh,
keep it going. We got the challenge though. We've got this.
we're
We've
gonna
got
challenge.
this. Okay, so um I also want to up that one more. I want you to dance with one of these people. It
Dance with
could be
one of
from a
you.
distance. Be like, "Hey, how
Okay.
you doing?" Total stranger
Challenge accepted. Challenge
and
accepted.
dance. All right. All right. I see you. It's easy, you just like one person,
I'll,
especially if they're dancing.
I'll up your challenge. See if you can get as many people to dance as possible today.
Ooh, yeah.
So if you have three opportunities, cool. But like you're somewhere and it's like, man, I can get the whole room to dance. Go for
I like that. I like
it.
that.
Okay.
Actually, so I was on a street
Eye
corner in
contact,
Venice Beach.
smiles, and dance.
There was a whole line of people around the block at this restaurant waiting. And then there was like four other people on this corner. And those four people turned, I guess they were meeting someone and they were like, hey. And their friend goes, hey. So I responded across the other street. I didn't know them. And I was like, hey. And then they go, hey. And then the entire block of people who were in line all turned and go, hey. It was like 30
Wow.
strangers had this amazing, joyous interaction that left us all smiling just because I decided to
You
respond to,
started it?
yeah, yeah. Well,
Dude.
someone yelled out. So I knew
Oh.
they weren't talking to me, but I decided to respond to them joyfully and playfully. And it started this whole like ripple of like joy in this crazy corner
So is that
intersection on
part of
the
the
city block.
up challenge? Is that the
Well, I mean,
final
I was thinking like maybe I sort of got them all to dance. That's why I was thinking
okay.
maybe I kind of did that, but yeah.
Okay, so the gold medal goes to the person that can get the whole group to do something in unison.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
All
I'm in.
right. And
I'm
I
gonna do
know
all of it.
John's not going to be here physically next week, but he's also going to be reporting back to us.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll text you my
yeah.
how many people I got to eye contact, smile, dance, and do something all together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm already thinking about it. I'm gonna do it. And if you do it, please, especially if you can capture it on like your Instagram or your story, tag us on it. We want to see this. We want to celebrate you. Like if
Okay.
you film the interaction and you get people to dance, or even if you rehearse the whole thing, I don't care. Tag us. We want to share this with the world.
Okay.
There's enough, negative shit out there, So we might as well create some joy, right? You may
Yeah.
die tomorrow. So
Ripples of joy.
have some fun, ripples of joy. So we got get in your body, dance, climb a tree, say hello, eye contact, connection, listening. Anything else you want to add to this inner child work today? I mean, there's a million
Mm.
things.
There are many
You
things.
meant actually there's one that just jumped out to me, and you sort of talked about this, but going back, if often we've forgotten that little kid inside of us, right? But going shadow work, which I love to do and I do with a lot of my clients too, is actually creating that space for your inner child and imagining that they're right there, and imagine holding them and telling them that it's safe and being with them and talking to them and communicating and reteaching them. Have a dialogue in meditation, or just standing there. Like sometimes when I'm really really grieving, I'm really missing my father and that healing energy of my dad, I hold myself that way. Imagine having a child in my arms
Mm.
myself, and like holding, like squeezing that kid, telling him like, you're okay, like you're gonna get through this. These feelings are safe, these are good, let it out. um all of that, because we're taught so many other things, that it's not safe, or it's not okay, or it's not good. Or if people start crying, they're like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Why the fuck do we apologize for a feeling? We don't say I'm sorry for being in love, or I'm sorry for yelling when you needed to yell, or whatever. Like, stop apologizing for your tears. And if you are, it's not even your fault. If you're like, oh, I'm sorry for apologizing, right? Someone's trained you along the way that you weren't allowed to take up space. So part of this challenge today is taking up space,
Mm.
connecting with someone unapologetically, because life is short.
Mm. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, John.
Anyone at home, you got something you want to share, let us know. Um,
Yeah.
Man, this topic, it really hits, because it's such a healing medicine to
Mm.
really meet your inner child, and yeah, just to honor that inner child, and liberate him, and let him
Mm.
be free from whatever that got him stuck so long
Mm.
ago, and to allow him to just grow up
Mm.
and have fun with you, to meet your adult self, and maybe teach your adult self some fun things that it didn't get to do,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes, absolutely. One of those things could be like going to John's yoga retreat in Tulum, you
yeah, there'll be a lot of inner child work there,
know?
and there'll
Yeah.
be a lot of fun, adult fun too.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And then I've got a retreat in January for like some guys
which
I know are starting to pick up a
sounds
guitar for the
super
first
cool.
time. We're
I've
teaching guitar and yoga and surfing,
Yeah,
all the
that just
things
blows
I
me
love to
away.
do that I didn't do as a kid. I didn't get to surf. I didn't know what yoga was. I didn't have uh I mean, I guess I played some music, but I never had teachers of like master level teachers. And now I get to go be a big kid and do all the things I love there. And I welcome all of you to come with us. It's Balance Guitar. It's on Instagram and my website, balanceguitar.com too. But that's a great way to come play. And a lot of guys bring their kids that like they didn't get to, have that as a kid. So they bring their kids, their partners, or they do something crazy and take a week to themselves, right? um and retreats are just a great opportunity to do that. It doesn't really matter who you're with, but if there's someone you'd love to go on a retreat with, like John or myself, we'd love to have you. Right, like go where it's warm. Starblazer Mark said, I need to send my inner child back to college. Yeah, maybe. I wonder what has you say that. Like, think like we got to learn more, right? We got to gain more knowledge to get by in the world, right? But one thing,
Yeah,
well, maybe they teach us in college. They definitely don't teach it in school. Is like relationships, or budgeting, you know. um and all that stuff is just financial work. I mean, energy work. I was thinking finances are energy work. Yeah, all that stuff is just energy work.
It totally is energy work. Yeah.
And practice makes perfect. So get out there and play and say hi to strangers and dance and connect and dare to be messy, right? Like if they're strangers, you probably won't see them again.
Hmm.
But if you do, they'll be like, there's that person that like tried to make me laugh one day. Thank God for that human being. Even
Mm.
if on the inside they're like, fuck that guy. You know, when we have a strong reaction to someone, it's usually because there's something in ourselves it reminds us of. So it's okay if it doesn't land well all the time. We don't need to be a whirl of people pleasers, just self-express. So just follow your heart and have a little fun today. That's what I'm taking away. So we got to start to close up here, but what's one thing you're taking away from today, John?
Mm. The go meet the stranger thing. I feel like as a kid, our parents are like, don't talk to strangers, and it's like this weird thing. So we don't get to, hi, sir. Like as a kid, you don't just go to the Whole Foods person to start a conversation with them because you're told not to. But now that
Yeah,
we're
no,
adults,
actually, you probably do as a kid. You just said it, John, but you're told not to.
yeah,
As
we're like,
children, we're
oh,
open. We'll go talk to anyone. And they're like, no, 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 no.
that person looks cool. Let me ask them so. No, 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 don't talk to strangers, son.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're there's a block
Yes.
around us being authentically curious and friendly.
Yeah. And self-express, you're like, I want that. I want that. And they're like, calm down, use your words. And you learn to like talk, say, please, sir, I would like that. And then you're disconnected from the head down. You're not even in your body anymore. Like
Yeah.
one thing you can do if you want something, fucking reach for it, you know?
All right. Yeah. So that's my biggest takeaway is as adults, now we have that opportunity to be excited, to live in a state of wonder, and
Hmm.
to be friendly with strangers
Hmm.
and to crack open that dialogue just like you were in first grade with your friends at school and in recess. Why not ask someone at Whole Foods, like, what's the coolest thing you've done today? You know, yeah. What's a big challenge that you recently overcame? Just random question. What's your biggest wish for humanity? I
Yeah.
dare you to ask a deep ass question out there. Um, so
Or
yeah,
yeah, I mean, you could even like I was thinking asking someone what they're grateful for today would even be like some people be like, huh? Oh, that's a good question. I ask my clients that all the time. They're like, I've been thinking about what I'm grateful for. I can't think of anything. I've been working on it. I've got a list I've been writing down so I can share it with you because I knew you were going to ask me that. I'm like, well, why don't you just stop and take a deep breath and think of one thing you're grateful for right now?
mm.
So if you're watching, what's what's one thing you're taking away from this conversation today? If you're out there, if you have a pulse, let us know. Write it in the comments. Um, Even if you just came on, what's one thing you're taking away?
Ivan says it's crazy. I was raised not to bother people, but I always feel the need to talk to all people. I love
Mm,
it. Um, my dad, when we would go to dinners, he was a very social person. He would just tap on someone that's eating dinner on the other table and say, "Hey, what'd you guys order?" And they'll say, "Oh, we got the chicken, blah blah blah." He's like, "Is it good?" And like, "Yeah." Like, "Where are you guys from? I like your accent." And he would just start conversations. And but then they would say, "Don't talk to strangers," like tell us. But I guess I learned by example was
yeah.
this talk to strangers thing, and I love it. I've made so
Oh,
many amazing friends by just moving that fear aside and just go talk to the stranger. So it's a beautiful thing.
that's beautiful, John. I love that. And you said something, I want to reflect something that you said too. Even though maybe your dad told you not to talk to strangers, he, through his actions, taught you to talk to
Always do.
strangers.
You totally,
So
yeah.
the actions speak louder than words, right?
Hmm.
So, you really can lead by action. That's why it's like, it doesn't matter, your partner's like, stop apologizing, just change your actions. And literally, like one of the most amazing things is in the world is if you want to move your life, you take an action. That's the difference between therapy and coaching. People ask me that all the time. Well, what are you going to do? You charge more than my therapist. Well, I'm going to have you take action. And if you look at my testimonials, you'll see my clients like turn around things in coaching in 3 months that they've been working on therapy for 10 years because someone's finally saying, oh yeah, go take an action. Oh yeah, that's what you really care about, then go do it. Right. And if not, then let's talk about it. And so I love that your dad, no matter what he said, was like, oh yeah, I love people. And John, you're just such an open thing. Uh, in fact, Noble, the Noble Moore says, John and I met, by the way, talking to strangers that way.
Exactly. We were leaving a sweaty yoga class, and Noble Moore just started talking to me and asking me questions. And now we're going to be working on plant medicine ceremonies together. It's just the world. It just all unfolds and evolves in so many beautiful ways just by
that is beautiful
creating authentic connections.
Yeah. And Umbrella Theory said, talk to strangers. Noble Moore's taken away soul gazing. Pat Graham, acknowledge the inner child.
Yeah.
Interaction, Brooklyn Pet Sitter, interaction and experiences mold you. Yeah. So welcome. I see you, EQ and Rolling Zen and Canuck, all my people. I want to send you a lot of love and just say thank you for being here today. And if you didn't get to listen to all this conversation, it's here. Just go back and listen, record. It's on our Facebook page, on my page, and Universal Fest. We'll have it up on there as always. So if no one told you they love you today, we love you guys. We see you. Go meet our challenge. Let us know how it goes. Come back next Monday ready to report. And follow us and share something. Share it with a friend. Tag a friend who needs this today, really, because there's a lot of people who aren't going to see this. And so tag someone who could use it. And send us a message. If you have something you want to talk about, you have a question about the show, send us a message. And if we can't answer it, we're happy to steer you to the professionals who can. How's that sound, John?
It's beautiful.
Per our conversation last week.
Time. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you for going back and bringing your inner child to today, and let your inner child hang out and watch this show with us. Your inner child says thank you, and he or she is smiling and loves you.
Love right back.
Yeah. Thank you all so much. I will see you guys in about I don't know,
3 weeks,
something like that.
Yeah,
in about 3 weeks. Yeah,
John's gonna be dipping in, but we are still gonna be here next week. Divine Masculine Mondays, it will continue. The special guest. Thank you all so much for joining. Please come back next week. And John and everyone out there, have a beautiful day and do the challenge. Let us know.
Challenge. All right.
Do the challenge.
I'm gonna post this on my Instagram story. The questions, the things, the challenges.
Oh, cool. Tag me.
Tag you, and then
tag me.
And it's game on.
Yes, game on. Much love. Game on. Game on. Bye.